Well, hello. My name is Sherida, aka Mrs. Smith, aka Miss Sunshine, and I'm coming to you guys today at the beginning of what will be a series of cooking shows. Sometimes it'll be myself, sometimes it'll be myself and my husband, Brian Smith.
Hello, how you guys doing?
And I have my nephew here, Nathan. He's gonna come around and say hello, and then we're gonna get started with cooking.
Hi guys.
Nate is he's doing the production today, so I appreciate you. All right, so let's get started. Today, I'm going to share a very top secret recipe with you, and I hope that you guys try it at home. It's my world famous cabbage. And I'm going to just talk to you really quickly about some of the ingredients. First, we have a very large white or yellow onion. I prefer yellow. We've got a smoked turkey leg, one cabbage chopped up. I've got 2 tablespoons of butter, chicken base or chicken bouillon, and red pepper flakes. All right, so let's get started. One of the first things I do, of course, I chop up everything. I make sure that this is about a 1/2 inch in width. And you have a 2-quart pot with a lid that you're going to need. So initially, I'm going to dump all of the onion into the pot. I'm going to dump the butter in there. And lastly, what I'm going to do is take this turkey, so happy to find it, and I place this in the pot as well. I was told that my grandmother came up with the idea or was one of the people who seasons her pot before she cooks greens or anything. So that's what we're doing. You're going to take a big tablespoon and you're going to drop about this much in the pot also. Okay, so even though, and maybe I'll do a little bit more. So this is what the pot looks like. All right, so now if you look inside the pot, we've got our turkey leg, we've got our onion, our chicken base. Look at that butter. That butter is just getting to start to melt, and we're going to let this cook and simmer down. And we'll let this simmer for about, I would say about 5 minutes, 5 to 10 minutes. And another thing that I'll mention is one thing I use is chicken broth. This is a really flavorful chicken broth, and I'm going to pour, I would say about a cup to a cup and a half, and we're going to pour that in there. And what we're going to wait for now is for it to boil. So once I see this boiling, then I'm going to move on to adding my cabbage in.
Yeah.
Man, if you could smell what's in this pot, your mouth will be watering right now. I want you to take a look at this. All right, it's boiling wonderfully right now. So the next process, the next step, I'm going to take handfuls, try not to, and just throw it in the pot. We're not going to let one little piece or morsel go to waste, because once this cooks down, everybody's going to want some. All right, it's rinsed. All right. And then now I'm going to add, you see this is crushed red pepper. And I try to be mindful of everybody's taste buds, but I start with 1/4 teaspoon. See how that looks to me? I think I'm going to add a little more because I like it spicy. All right. And we're going to add a little bit of pepper and salt, but we're going to do that midway through because I want to taste it. Because mind you, we've already put bouillon and we've already put turkey legs. So we want to make sure that we don't get it too spicy.
Go.
Hey, family, look at this. Look at this pot. What's happening on in there is amazing. Wait till you see. But right now, while we're waiting on this to simmer down, we're going to add some pepper. And we're going to taste the liquor in here. But right now, I want to show you what my husband is cooking up over there. I'm going to help him make some delicious skillet squash.
Hey, my sweetheart's doing her thing over there. It smells so good in this kitchen. If you were here, you would probably be sneaking over there, see if you can get some of that liquor that's in that pot. But she showed me how to make, we call it fried squash. Some people call it sauteed squash. Some people may call it skillet squash, depending on where you're from geographically. So I'm from Georgia, true South, all right, southern state there, and I grew up on this. My grandmothers used to make this. My mom used to make this, and so Sherida also, with her southern roots, knows how to make this too. So this is how you do it. You chop up your onion. Okay, we use white onion for this. You don't have to dice it necessarily. I kind of like mine in half rings. You know, and then when it comes to the squash, you cut it, I say about a ½ an inch. All right, in diameter, you want to go ahead and cut about ½ an inch. You get too thick, you have these big chunks of squash. You get it too thin, they're gonna break and fall apart once the heat begins to break down the squash. So I do maybe about half an inch thick. Okay, and just run it through. Okay, very quickly, run it through. All right, and all right, see how you're doing that? And then they're gonna look like huge quarters, right? But it's gonna, I love squash. This is actually my favorite two squash today, being cooked, squash and cabbage. I love squash. They're beautiful. They are delicate in taste or to handle and to cook, but they are also just, for me, refreshing in taste. And I'm sure they have some kind of great benefit for your health, because it is a great vegetable full of sunlight and water. All right, here's the second one there. So, honey,
All right.
take over.
Let's look in this pot one more time. Wow, look how beautiful the greens in here look. I love to peek in here at this time because I think nothing is more beautiful than, you know, vegetables right when they start cooking up. Look how beautiful that is. I used to cut open my turkey leg to make sure that the flavor got in, but these turkey legs are pretty potent. And if you look down in there, you see that the fluid in there, hot liquor. So we're just going to continue to let that simmer and check in a few minutes. We'll taste it and make sure that we are on the right track.
Start.
Hey, B. Smith back here. If you look at our skillet here, we put in about 3 tablespoons of butter. Okay, 1% butter. Okay, and we're gonna get the skillet really nice and buttered for the squash. If you look here at the squash, I've chopped up 3 medium-sized squash, right? Cut them in maybe ½ inch pieces. Now, some of the pieces are getting pretty big, so if you want to, if you don't like big quarter-sized pieces like that, you can always chop them in half like I did here. On this piece here.
That must be the Georgian way.
Yeah.
'Cause where I'm from, we
So-
don't chop them like that.
All right, so I got the squash chopped up, and here's the the large white onion chopped up, and I like mine in half spiral shapes mixed in with chunks of all right, so there you go. That's the onion chopped up. Here's the squash. Everything's finna go into the skillet, and man, it's finna get real. The real deal. See that? Isn't that beautiful? Look at that butter starting to melt for us there. Okay. And another thing too, I give my wife credit for this. You got to have good cookware. This is a Tefal skillet set. It is awesome. Cooks fantastic. All right. All right. Thank you.
Put it in.
Ready? So here we go. We're gonna go in with our. I put my squash first, not mine.
I put my onion first.
So you can do it however you want to. Sherida puts her onion first, and I take that piece out. And I put my squash first because actually at the end of it, I want my squash to have a little bit of crunch. I like vegetables to have a little bit of crunch. Sometimes you can cook them all the way down, but I think they're good to have a little crunch. So I'm gonna get this going here. Sherida, step on in here,
I think
honey.
you need to add your onion now. don't you?
No, I add my onion later.
Okay.
In fact, we have sea salt here. We're going to use salt. We're going to use sugar and just regular black pepper. Okay. there's no need to add seasonings right now. Just let the vegetables cook, and then you can slowly begin to add in your different seasons.
All right, so moving back to our cabbage, let's take a peek in here. Can you see that, Nate?
It smells good in here, guys.
My gosh. So now, pass me that pepper, Brian. I think
Sure, honey.
after I'm going to add some pepper, but first what I'm going to do now is part this ocean of goodness and taste the liquor. That's just about there. All right, so I'm going to add a little bit of pepper. And pass me the sea salt, honey. All right, it tastes actually really good, guys. And just do a sprinkle, 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 sprinkle. A little bit more pepper. And I think we are good to go. Look at that, guys.
That was delicious. I
This
can't wait to get to some of that.
is going to be simply amazing. I also like to flip my turkey leg over halfway. Ooh.
You got some cornbread in the oven here.
That's next. All right, so flipping this over. We're gonna flip this turkey leg over, because you know what? It's been cooking. Look how it's been cooking on that one side, but I want to make sure I maximize my flavor. All right, so I would say 2 more minutes, and we will be done. Using the top is really important.
And here we go. We're still rocking and rolling with the squash. We thank Nate for handling the camera action on this evening. We're gonna have to pay him some money. I tell you, he's done such a great job. But here, as you see, the butter is beginning to coat the squash. I'm gonna keep a hand on that there. The squash is just beginning to kind of like sweat. They call vegetables begin to sweat, right? Lose some of their water. You can just start shining, and you know it's getting to that point where you know you can start adding other vegetables or complementary ingredients in it to your chicken. So just keep letting that sizzle real good. Butter coats it and begins to break down that squash. And now, as my sweetheart was saying, onion time. About time for those onions to go in, and then we're going to cover it, because in covering anything, it actually makes it more tender. So we want our vegetables to be nice and tender, not mushy though. Okay, so here we go. We're going to put the onions in, and then we're going to toss a little bit. See, there goes the whole onion. Going to toss it around a little bit there. Isn't that beautiful, Nathan?
Yes, it is.
Isn't that beautiful?
It is.
Yellow and white complement each other.
I think before we're gonna also add salt, pepper, and sugar now.
Okay.
Because as it cooks down, we also want that flavor to cook in there and marinate. And let's do that as well.
And so we're gonna keep that right there. We're gonna reach over here, Nathan. Sorry.
Okay.
We're gonna get a little sea salt there. Okay. We're gonna just pour
How
nothing
much
in.
did you say? Maybe a
I
teaspoon?
say about a teaspoon, half a teaspoon or so. You know, salt is such an important season. You know, but you also abuse it by putting too
And
much.
let's add our pepper.
Pepper. And just a few shakes. Isn't that pretty?
Yeah.
Okay. And maybe again half teaspoon or something of pepper. Okay.
Well, you're definitely going to add, I would say, about a teaspoon of sugar as well. I know that seems weird, but my mom does it, and trust me, she makes the most amazing squash I've ever tasted.
Yes, she does.
Man, you talking about finger licking?
My goodness. And she makes some great rutabagas, and everything she makes is fire.
gosh, yes it is.
Folks in Charlotte know what I'm talking about too. They didn't have the cakes, they didn't have food.
All right, Nate. Folks, this is the finished product. I have a little bit of word I want to share with you, a little poem. But look how delicious this cabbage looks. I'm about to turn off the iron, and now all I can say is well done. All right.
Yep, there's. Oh, look at that cabbage.
My gosh. I know y'all want some, but you can make your own. Look at that beautiful, delicious squash. My husband did a great job on that. Finger looking good. Now, we're going to introduce you to Nathan and our son, Deshaun.
What's up?
Hi.
They're going to taste it.
Okay,
Tell us what y'all think, guys.
I'm gonna taste the squash first, as you can see.
Off the chain.
Yeah, my cabbage is really good.
That
It's
is
really,
good.
really juicy.
That is really good,
and it
guys.
has great flavor.
And that's the key to food.
The squash is really. I can tell that they added some sugar because it kind of tastes sweet.
So it sort of has a little bit of salt to it too, right?
I like.
Deshaun, are you done with your cabbage, son?
Already. Clean the
Man.
plate. Yeah. It's a great sign.
All right, you guys. So thanks again. Please join us. We got some more things to show you, some more memories to make. Y'all have a blessed one.